the burlesque dancers and their boobs. I was playing in a variety show in Goole, mainly funny poems, nothing cruel. The cast was varied and talented, and as well as me were comedians, a juggler, songbirds as sweet as can be. 4 lovely young ladies made up a troupe of burlesque dancers, a spectacularly pretty group. I was one of the first few acts on, and was ready to go on stage with aplomb. The MC asked me to wait in the wings, and that's when my embarrassment entered into things. I was to follow the burlesque girl dancers, and this tale answers the question why my face was red, and I stayed there not having fled. The Twisted Bells were the troupe's name, and their act was not exactly tame. I stood in a small confined place in the wings, knowing their Act 3 routine springs. They played Doris Day, pranced around and did their legs splay. After the first song they came back stage. I turned to chat and with them engage. As I stood smiling at them so sweet, they stripped off their tops, and my heart did beat. I think I froze as my blood pressure rose. Boobs abounded pointing at me, nipples too all bouncing free. I gulped and blinked and gawped at them and turned round fast. My eyes were glassed. I stood looking at a very boring green wall, was not near enough to lean against it so I did not fall. I waited till I felt it was safe to turn around, but still one pair of naked boobs I found were pointing straight at me, between me and the door, so I could not flee. They went back on stage. I felt my age. Then back again, and I faced the wall. After their next routine, the MC did me call. I did my act, and that's a fact. I was not fazed or dazed or crazed. My performance was raised. I had a blast. My inspiration was vast. I went into the green room, and towards me did loom Alex, who is a mate from a comedy duo so great. He and Chris are friends of mine, so I pulled him behind a curtain fine, made of a thin cotton sheet, really just a divider discreet. I told him the story of the girls so bare, and how their breasts and nipples did at me stare. Laughter loud from in the room made me into their zoom. One of the ladies was laughing so hard and pointed at me, their silly bard. Why did you think a cotton sheet would allow you to tell a story and be discreet? I heard everything you had to say, and they were my breasts, by the way. You were the perfect gentleman back there. You turned away and did not stare. That seemed funny enough, and we all laughed. Everything that had happened did seem daft. Then Chris entered right on cue and said you had them in the palms of your hands, didn't you? We all laughed hysterically. Why, he had no clue. When explained to him, he just knew that this was his best comic timing moment of the night, and that in that instant he was an incredibly funny sight.